All right, so let me see. I'm gonna give some people a chance to get on the live before I start talking. Um, I want to talk about consumer law, contract law, and collection accounts. But I also want to see what my audience want me to talk about, so I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes. Give them a few minutes to get on. When y'all see this live, by the time y'all see this live, I'll probably be off of here. I just want you guys to know that I'm trying to get more comfortable with YouTube. I'm not as comfortable with YouTube as I am with Facebook, TikTok, and IG. So y'all just give me a chance. I'm trying to get comfortable with YouTube. If y'all could leave me on here on live and like ask me questions and make it more interactive, that would be great. If not, y'all just catching the replay and liking and sharing is always appreciated. Before I get started, I would like you guys to go and follow me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all forms of social media. My name is Rebecca Simone. So you guys can find me on all forms of social media. What's up to the new follower or the new person that's viewing the live right now? I can't really see as I see on TikTok. I can't see no names, but if y'all are on here and you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I want to talk about credit today in accounts. So if you guys have any questions, let me make sure I can see. Put it on live. There we go. All right, so if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, as we are going throughout the live, y'all feel free to ask. I see somebody else has joined the live. Again, I can't see y'all to shout y'all out, but if you say something in the comments, I'm probably gonna see your comment. With that being said, I pretty much want to talk about credit today. I wish this was, like I said, I wish it was more interactive so I could have y'all actually ask me some questions. I can't even see my little board, but, and this is a little backwards to y'all, but the board just says, welcome to my live. Feel free to ask me some questions about consumer law and credit. Don't forget, we can start off talking about accounts. So I want to give you guys some laws for the people who are writing. 12 CFR 1002.2A defines account as an extension of credit. So when employed in relation to an account, the word used refers only to open-ended credit. So if you guys are watching, y'all put open-ended credit in the chat. Lamont, are you following me on Facebook or TikTok? If so, I don't think it's in my link in bio on here. But if you go on my TikTok and go to the declaration of status, it's in my link in bio. So if you click on my link in the bio and then go to products and then go to declaration of status, that's the template that you're talking about. For the new people that are joining the live, we are talking about accounts right now. I just gave them code 12 CFR 1002.2A, which defines account as an open-ended extension of credit. So if you guys are, for the people who are watching, if you fill out an application and that application approves an account and the account is an extension of credit, then whose credit would you think it was an extension of? For the people who are watching, whose credit would it be an extension of? It will be an extension of your credit. So the law that pertains to that is Equal Credit Opportunity Act. So ECOA. For the ones who are writing, y'all put ECOA in the comments. All right, Equal Credit Opportunity Act. So that defines the application as any oral mind, because it can't. Right. Yours, because they don't have no credit. I mean, where would their credit have come from? So just a little backstory. Y'all know where our credit came from, right? The consumer's credit comes from what document? It comes from our birth certificate. So there's a bond that they are discharging debt against. That is where our credit comes from. When it comes down to these companies, they don't have bonds that debt could be discharged against. Because these are companies that are opened by everyday people. Okay, so how do one go about removing debts from their account? So I think you got it twist up, Damien. So, your account, when you're saying, I think you mean credit report instead of account, because the word account is an extension of credit. So how could there be a debt in an extension of credit? That don't make sense. Again, 12 CFR 1002.2a defines an account as an extension of credit. I just told y'all the application is any oral or written request for an extension of credit. So that would be an extension of your credit. How is it an extension of your credit? Because they are using your credit card information. Y'all put the word credit card in the comments. So if you look at Truth in Lending, which I have a copy of it right here. I don't know why I decided to sit on the floor today, but this is comfortable for me. So if you guys have a copy of this, if you do not have a copy of this, you can go on my Facebook or buy a copy of this so you guys can read it. Lending Act. First of all, I'll read y'all the Declaration of Purpose. So the Declaration of Purpose of Truth in Lending says, the Congress finds that economic stabilization would be enhanced and the competition among various financial institutions and other firms engaging in the extension of consumer credit would be strengthened by the informed use of credit. So right now, you guys are being informed on how to use your credit. It goes on to say the informed use of credit results from an awareness of the cost thereof by consumers. It is the purpose of this subchapter to assure a meaningful disclosure of terms so that the consumer will be able to compare more readily the various credit terms available to him and avoid the uninformed use of credit, and to protect the consumer against inaccurate and unfair credit billing and credit card practices. So when I told you guys the account was open using your credit card, what credit card y'all think I'm talking about? What credit card do you think I'm talking about? How can I do a background check for a job privately? What do you mean, can you do it privately? There's no such thing as a private background check. It's either you allowing them to do it or you don't allow them to do it. You don't have to give your social. Social Security card. Okay, I salute you for coming here and educating the people. Free your mind. Thank you, baby. All right, so the credit card. We still in this law right here. So remember, this law was created to explain to the consumers and inform them on their use of credit. So the term credit card is in the definition section. It's section 1601. So 15 USC 1601 is the definition section of the Truth in Lending Act. So the term credit card means any card, plate, coupon book, or other credit device existing for the purpose of obtaining money, property, labor, or services on credit. So remember, I told you guys an application is used to ask for an approval of credit. The actual account is an extension of credit. And if you gave your credit card, all of this comes back to you being the account owner, the account creditor. All of this comes back to you. All right. So any card, plate, coupon book, or other credit device, that could be a food stamp coupon or book or card. That could be a license plate. That could be a insurance card, an identification card, a driver's license card. All of those things are used to obtain money, property, labor, and services on credit. Y'all put a 1 in the comments if you are hearing that. So when we talked about accounts, I also told you guys open-ended credit. I didn't see anybody put open-ended credit in the comments, but open-ended credit or what y'all accounts actually are. And to explain this to you guys a little better, think about a phone. Think about your phone bill. When you get a phone account, it starts at 0, and then by the end of the month, if it's something that you have a contract on, by the end of the month, they are charging you a certain fee for what you use throughout that month. That means it was a possibility. Let's just say you only use $25 this month, and that was your balance. Your balance could have also been $100 had you used $100. It could have been $1,000 had you used $1,000. If there are no limits to your plan. With that being said, that's because that is an open-ended credit plan. And the way that you balance your books out is for the account to come. So the goal is for the account to be at 0 at the end of the month. The goal is for the account to be at 0. So let's just say your bill is, let's use the board for an example, since I'm already sitting on the floor. So hold on for a second. All right, so let's just say that the average phone bill is what, $100? Let's just say that you start off at the end of the month. So this is the phone bill we're referring to. If your phone bill, when you get your bill in the mail, if it's $100, it's gonna say balance due. And then it's gonna say pay to the order of Rebecca. And it's gonna be $100 coupon, right? Most of y'all payment coupons come in a positive balance, right? So for my people who are good at math, how do we balance this account out? If this is a positive number, either this is owed to me or they want me to balance this out. Again, if this is a positive number and we are at the bank, because the bank has the same type of accounts that your phone provider has, that everybody else has. So if this was $100 in your account, this would be owed to you, right? So that's why they send you a coupon, and a coupon says pay to the order of, and then there's your name. And they'll say, oh, please return this coupon. So then when you return the coupon, it's credited back to the account, and the account is brought to zero. Let's just say you sent the coupon in with $99. So now they have $99, but this is off. This is on off books. This is not something that they are showing you. So this $99 is something that goes to the lockbox. So your payments monthly, if you guys, I dare you guys right now, look at a bill. Anybody have a bill? Anybody have a bill on here handy that y'all could go look at right quick? I want y'all to pull up a bill and tell me if the address that they have you send it to is not a P.O. box. The address that they normally have you send your stuff to is normally a P.O. box. So the P.O. box is called a lockbox account. Y'all put lockbox in the comments. So a lockbox account. So let's just say that, for sake of an example, let me see if I can pull something up right quick. Let me give y'all an example. Trying to see if I can find the information on this company on Verizon for you guys right quick. So a lockbox is going to be a P.O. box that is held on behalf of your company by another company. So if you guys have tried to send in like coupons or something like that and it's not going through, it's because the lockbox already has a way that they process things. They have no idea what you're trying to do when you send in that document. So y'all put the word prospectus, Prospectus. The prospectus document is going to inform you about the lock. It's going to really inform you about everything. So the prospectus document is something that is required in y'all book reference. It's required by security regulations. Y'all see this book is securities regulations, cases, and materials. So this book talks about securities, underwriting, all of that stuff, all of that good stuff. It also talks about the laws that govern securities. So your account was created through a security. Every month when they send you those bills, at the bottom of it, that coupon is a security. So those securities are being pledged to a trust. All right. Y'all have heard somebody say own nothing, control everything, right? Y'all have heard people say that before. So people are saying own nothing, control everything because for bankruptcy purposes, for tax purposes, so it doesn't look like you have any assets. You have the trust on it because the trust's assets do not have to be fully disclosed unless the trust is selling securities. That's what a lot of these companies mess up at, because they start selling securities, and per the Securities Act of 1933, they have to provide a prospectus document. So y'all put Securities Act of 1933 in the comments, because I told y'all your application was a security, and now I've told y'all that your coupon that they mail you at the end of the month is also a security. All right. Capital One bill has the P.O. box. See what I mean? And you know what? That's funny that you mentioned Capital One. I just had that prospectus document. Let me see if it's still up here. For the person who has Capital One, I'm gonna just show you this just because it's up on my screen, and why not? If you need this address, baby, if you are trying to dispute something with Capital One, Capital One Consumer Services, P.O. Box 30273, Salt Lake City, Utah, 84130-0273. For the person who said they had Capital One, just in case you decide to do like a billing error dispute or something like that, that is the address that you would send your disputes to. I know that because I just sent them one. Apartment. So a security is any type of contract that is securitized. Securities Act of 1933. I didn't see nobody put that in the comments. Y'all put Securities Act of 1933 in the comments. And this is going to be for people when they come and see this later on. What do you do when they do not honor the coupon as tender of payment? That's a good question. So I never tell people. I don't know if you follow me on TikTok. If y'all don't follow me, for commercial break, if y'all don't follow me on TikTok, y'all need to go follow me on TikTok. I don't really have that big of a presence on YouTube, but on TikTok I have like 51,000 followers and over 700 videos explaining all of this stuff to y'all. In none of those videos will you see me telling you to send a coupon in. All right. I don't tell people to send coupons in because your account is already in a negative status. When you open up the account, these people automatically take the place of a custodian. They automatically take the place of the creditor, and you take the place of the debtor. So there is a billing error that is already into place that needs to be resolved first. If you don't resolve the billing error and you just send in the coupons, like I said, it's going to a lockbox. The lockbox doesn't know what you're trying to do. They don't honor those type of things because they don't know what the hell you're doing. So then the lockbox is going to do what the policy says do. I'm going to still deposit this to them, and the consumer is just going to have to do what they do. And then here, honestly, they do that stuff because they know you don't know what to do next. So I'm going to tell you what you do is you need to do a billing error dispute. You need to go in. If you want to join, I have class coming up. I think it's Thursday of this week. For billing, it's either Tuesday or Thursday this week, billing error dispute. Or you could go read Title 15 and just do a billing error dispute. But you're going to need to do that. For the people who ask, how do we fix this? You're going to need to do a billing error dispute. If y'all not familiar with what that is, Google consumer law dash billing error, and the code is going to come up, and read it. All right, so the people who said Securities Act of 1933, let's speak on it for a second. So the Securities Act of 1933 is just like how I showed y'all. This is the truth in lending law. There is a truth in securities law too, which is called Securities Act of 1933. So this law has two basic objectives. One is to provide investors with the material, financial, and other information concerning securities offered to the public. So 1 is for the investors, and 2 is to prohibit misrepresentation, deceit, and other fraudulent acts and practices in the sale of securities generally. So I want to let you guys know that you sell securities to these companies every time you sign a contract that is then over collateralized and securitized. You sold them something. The evidence of the sale is them giving you the property. If you think about it, how many of y'all have houses or cars that you guys have financed? Put in one in the comments if you have a house or a car that you finance. If you have a house or a car that you finance, those documents, those contracts were sold immediately. As soon as you signed it, it was sold to the finance company or to whoever the third party was that gave the money back from that. So on your actual contract, go read your contracts. On your contract, it has a place that says you agree, or you're giving up security interest in the vehicle or the property being purchased. And then secondly, you agree to let them assign it to whomever they feel like assigning it to. So for instance, to show y'all a visual of this assignment. All right, let's just say any of y'all have Verizon as a phone company. Oh, here's a car. Okay, I'll show y'all a car. All right, so don't judge me. I'm sitting on the floor in my office. But anyway, y'all can see this screen? Y'all can see this. So Exeter Finance, if y'all don't know, Exeter Finance is a automobile quote unquote lender. Let me wipe this screen. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on a second. All right, so Exeter is a finance company. So remember I told y'all that they are securitizing, monetizing your loans. So if we look here, so when I bought my Mercedes, and the contract was assigned to Exeter Finance. Exeter Finance initially purchased my contract from the from the dealership. So the dealership got the contract with me. They, in return, sold the contract to Exeter, and there was money received back from that. On the second hand, Exeter then sold my contract to another company that they own, and money was received back from that. That is the first site of over collateralization. Let's just say that this car was worth $50,000, right? First 50, Exeter paid to CarMax. Second 50, EF Car paid to Exeter. Third 50, Exeter Automobile Receivables Trust is about to pay the EF Car. That's $150,000. Y'all following me? With the over collateralization? And then this trust is going to deposit it to its holder. And this is the person. So when people be saying holder in due course, this is the person that's holding it. How do I know this, Rebecca? Because when you pay back Exeter, this is where your money going. Scoop. And then look at who's behind all this shit. Citibank and the Wilmington Trust. So, when I was talking about an account being an extension of your credit, them taking your financial or personal information, creating a security, selling that security, they're able to sell that security because two things. For one, they know that you understand that you signed a contract, that you're probably not going to just break that contract and without paying something. And in addition to that, let's just say you do break the contract, they can discharge that against your bond. Y'all understand it? So if y'all don't take nothing else from what I'm saying right now today, you need to go read this. 3 laws you need to read. Truth in Lending Act, the Securities Act of 1933, and the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. Again, the Truth in Lending Act, the Securities Act of 1933, and the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. Y'all have any questions for me? What are you discharging, baby? What you discharging? If I just told you it was credit, why you still trying to say it's debt? Let's unpack that. What y'all talk to me about that? Because a lot of people do that. I'll say something and I show you where this is not debt, and you'll still be like, but can't we just discharge it? What are we discharging? You either gonna take the place of a creditor. Yeah, my name is the same thing on Facebook, Rebecca Simone. Y'all going to take the place of the creditor or the debtor. You can't be both. You can't straddle the fence though. So if you're gonna be the creditor, then what are you discharging? There is no debt. But if you're gonna be the debtor, then you can't say that this is my credit that's being extended. So it doesn't work both ways. You gotta kind of pick one. You gotta pick a side. Discharge is what these companies do. Let me see something. I think I showed this on TikTok. All right, so these companies, this is when is a debt canceled. This is instructions form for companies are going to discharge the debt themselves. They have a whole policy on how this works. The IRS outlines when they should discharge, what the procedure is, and all of that stuff. So you doing it is kind of irrelevant because it's not something that they open. It's not something that you open up. They open this account up using your credit, and they have to report to the IRS because the credit is essentially for the IRS. Honestly, the Social Security number is not yours. It's just an account that you're the beneficiary of. When you say discharge, is that when they write off as business? I think you meant business loss. Yeah. So basically, yeah. So MK, so if I can explain something to y'all. When I'm gonna give y'all a better visual. Let me get up off the floor. All right. Can y'all hear me? I don't know what happened to the sound. Can you guys hear me? Y'all put a one in the chat if you could hear me. I see some people say no sound. Y'all still can't hear me? Yes, no. Good. All right. Okay, so I don't know what the last thing was y'all heard. I was talking about an account when an account is open. So when an account is initially open and they take that application from you, the application is for them to open an account. That account is the extension of credit. When they use your credit card to open that account up, they have to start then reporting that to who? The IRS. Because they are using the Social Security number that belongs to the IRS. So they have to do accounting. For them to be able to lawfully collect on a debt, they have to be doing tax accounting on it from day one. What's up, Ricky? They have to be doing accounting on it from day one. So there is a 1099-A form that's initially filed. And then let's just say that with Capital One, their policy is that after 120 days, if you have not made a payment, then they have to discharge it. So they're going to follow the directions on this IRS instruction for 1099-C. They're going to follow the 1099-C form. And if it's over $600, they're going to have to give you that form. So when they give you that form, it'll show you on the form. A lot of times they withhold the form from you guys because, for one, y'all don't know the law and y'all don't know they have to give it to y'all. For two, y'all don't understand if they don't give it to you, what you could do, which is reporting to the IRS. And number three, they don't feel like you're gonna push it. So like, just like if somebody was bullying you and breaking into your house or something, if you never report that to the police, they'll come do it every day. So it's the same way with these companies. Since they know you don't know what to do, once they cancel your debt, they're going to still tell you, no, well, you still got to pay us. We canceled it with the IRS. We got our credit, but you still have to pay us. That don't make no damn sense. That sounds like textbook fraud to me. This document says that a debt is deemed canceled on the date of an identifiable event. So in 120 days, once Capital One realizes you never paying them, they're going to go and discharge your debt. And then they're going to withhold the form. They're supposed to give you copy B. Y'all put copy B in the comments. Copy B is the form they're supposed to give you. So the 1099-C has the A, B, and a C. A is for the IRS, B is for you, C is for them. Again, A is for you, A is for the IRS, B is for you, C is for them. Once they discharge, they say it becomes earned income, and they say pay taxes on their debt. So taxes is something totally different. Taxes has nothing to do with this, but yeah, essentially it does become taxable. It's not technically income. You got to know what the definitions of certain words are. Income is not derived from wages. So it's taxable income, but I mean, you shouldn't be filing taxes through a 1040 form anyway. Can we tell the utilities to send the bill to the IRS or Treasury copy B? I don't know nothing about. Before I say no, I'm gonna say that it's my voice skincare. I've never done that. I've never done that. Because it's not really something that's right. This is a book reference for people with utilities who are trying to get out of their utility bills. So there's something called Public Securities and Obligations. That's the title of this book, Public Securities and Obligations, right? Your utility company has a public obligation. When you sign the application with them, it's still a security that they are securitized. And don't you have to give them your social? Don't you have to give them your credit card information? Y'all can go read this book. He said Google is in bed with these companies. I Googled what you're talking about. The majority of results came back that a company can charge off and collect from you. So it's literally case law that they can't do that. But again, Google is not a legal dictionary. Google might tell you as anything. Google might tell you anything. Call the IRS and ask them. Call the IRS and ask them. I bet you they won't say that. Because one thing about it, two things for sure. The IRS always want their, they always want their cut. So it's not legal or lawful for Ricky, let's just say you and I. You owe me $1,000. You don't pay me the $1,000, so I say, okay, well, I'm going to charge this off so I don't have to be, because quarter, let me just explain something to y'all. There's an IRS Publication 583. Y'all need to go read that. If you have a business, you should have already read it. This is where they outline the allocation of, they outline how you're supposed to do accounting when it comes down to businesses, how you're supposed to keep your records, when you're supposed to file your taxes, how they're supposed to withhold things. All of that stuff is talked about in this IRS publication. So that's one of them where they talk about discharging the debt. This is another one. And Ricky, what's so crazy is that Google will also tell you, you know, lies about medicine that you know is an actual lie. But if you look at this form, it actually says when a debt is discharged, when a debt is canceled when they file this form. I would bring up the argument that if the IRS is saying this is canceled and you told the IRS this is canceled, for you to come back and tell me that it's not canceled and that you're still legally out, you have to take me to court. I'm sorry. We would just have to go to court. I'm probably taking your ass to court anyway, but you would just have to take me to court because that don't make no sense to me. And this is why we don't trust Google, folks. Because Google will tell your ass anything. It literally will tell you anything. Yeah. Yeah. IRS Publication 583. For the people who want to go read that themselves. It talks about starting a business and keeping record. It talks about taxes, withholding of taxes, all of that stuff. So yeah. Sankofa, what do you mean? Can you use it in court? Of course. What kind of question is that? Of course you could use any evidence you collect can be used in court. Unless you do it illegally. What else was I about to say? Something else I wanted to tell y'all. I'm trying to look on his phone and see if it's something I could. Okay. So this is not what I was finna say, but I think this is just as important. I was looking on the IRS Publication 583 that I was telling y'all about. When they talk about withholding of taxes. So I told this to my audience on TikTok. I'm not sure if you guys follow me on TikToks, but for y'all, just FYI. When you work for a company and the company is withholding taxes weekly, they are not paying that to the IRS weekly. They are not paying FICA or none of that stuff to the IRS weekly. They are paying it quarterly. So they have your stuff for 3 months, which means they incurring some type of interest on it while they're holding it. I don't know why that's not disclosed to people when they first get jobs, because that was never disclosed to me, but it's definitely something that I learned when I opened up my own business. Period, Ricky. Malik says they say Google hide everything after page 9. There's also a search engine called DuckDuckGo. I'm not sure if y'all familiar with DuckDuckGo, but if you're not, you should probably go and check them out. They're much better than Google. You might get a better search there. I got a court date with Synchrony to via debt collection, absolute resolution. You got a court date. So You disputed, MK, you disputed the account that they were trying to collect on, and they took you to court? Or you didn't say anything, you acquiesced? This thing long. I didn't realize this publication was that long. Okay. So there is a section on the for the person that was asking me about the discharge of debt and all that. Records keeping is a big thing when it comes down to these companies, the way they do their taxes and all that. That IRS publication that I told y'all about also talks about record keeping and how they have to have accurate financial statements to remain in compliance. They have to identify the source of the receipts. DuckDuckGo is much better. Yeah, Sharon, much better. I get a lot better results from there than Google. I'm getting my exhibits together now. This was up. That's what I was thinking about. Can you use 3949A to do an audit on your employer? So Malik, the 3949A form, doesn't necessarily, I mean, every time you file one doesn't mean they're gonna do an audit. You can request one. The 3949A is more so an information referral form for the IRS. So you would fill that out if you know that a company is violating the law in some type of way and you kind of want to tell on them. But I mean, I'm not sure if that itself is going to trigger a audit. You can ask them to do an audit, or you could just take the company to court. Y'all know what discovery is, right? When you go to court, you know there's like a discovery where they have to produce certain things, and you're gonna have to produce certain things if they request that. That would be the time where I'll be requesting all this stuff. All right. I can't believe I've been on here 45 minutes already. Y'all have any more questions for me before I go? I just wanted to hop in right quick and touch bases with my little audience. I know I'll be on YouTube a lot, but I'm blocked on TikTok for a week, so I guess I'll be on here all week. IRS told me it makes 2 years. Ricky, you might as well go to court if they told you 2 years. You'll see a judge before you see them. What can I say about a promissory note? What do you mean what I can say about a promissory note? That's a contract. It's unilateral. What do you mean? What are you really asking about a promissory note? I was just doing it to see what they'll do and say. So, Ricky, they mailed you back something that said 2 years, or they told you because you called? Yes, they mailed you something? Oh, wow. I use that in court. Because what they mean, 2 years? The hell? Y'all, people have sued companies for... You can sue somebody for anything. I could sue y'all for sitting here looking at me on TikTok, on YouTube. That don't mean I'm going to win. So I said that to say, it should never be a question, can you sue somebody for that? the question is going to be, how do you build your case for whatever it is you're trying to sue them for? If you know they've broken a law, you need to build a case to where you can win in court. Because court is not about if they broke the law and if you can sue or whatever. Court is more so about what can you prove? How can you set this case up to where their lawyer doesn't find a loophole? With credit reporting, have you tried to fix this issue? If you have resolved it, did you keep track of when you were trying to fix the issue? Carmel says, if one hires a consumer lawyer who seems to not want to do anything, can you switch lawyers, or is there a process to just wait? Fire them. So the lawyer works for you. Fire him. I just wanted to see if the IRS is a viable option for support when challenging these companies. Gotcha. Gotcha. That makes sense, Ricky. Oh, shit. I keep hearing about after 3 years they give or pay a share note or for investment giving purposes. You keep hearing after 3 years they give up. What do you mean? You're saying if you don't pay your note or whatever for 3 years? Is that what you're saying? Right, Ricky, they do that immediately. So promissory notes have a maturity date. Promissory notes have a maturity date. I'm going to say it one more time. Promissory notes have a maturity date. So after your note matures, it has to be sold because they can't lawfully collect on it anymore. That's why your student loans get sold. That's why your home loan and mortgages get sold. And after so long, they don't chase you anymore on that auto loan because the note has matured. Most promissory notes are what type of contract? Ricky, do not give me the answer for this. Let me see if the other people who are on the live understand this concept. Promissory notes are what type of contract, you guys? I'm new to this. Fire them and do it yourself, Carmel. You could literally go to uscourts.gov and get all the pro se forms you need to do all that stuff yourself. Why pay a lawyer $33 1/3 when they not gonna fight for you? I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not a consumer lawyer, I'm not an attorney, I'm not trying to tell you not to get one, but to be honest with you, the attorney's first duty is to the courts. That's why your attorney don't want to do nothing for you. Because if you're really trying to expose the fact that the courts had something to do with this, or the courts covering it up or whatever, they really not. And I personally think that they're in bed with a lot of these corporations. It's not that many consumer lawyers out there. And most of them act like they slow. Ain't no way it's people that never been to law school and they understand. I've won multiple cases. So it's no way these lawyers that have gone to law school don't know what the hell is going on. It's just that they make more money from these companies and kickbacks than what they would charge you for. So, but to answer that question, I asked y'all what kind of contract was a promissory note. This is another book for reference. It's American Jurisprudence Contracts, book number 17. A contract is unilateral when one party who makes a promise has received a consideration other than a promise to make the contract binding. A unilateral contract is also defined as one in which there is a promise on one side only, the consideration therefore being an act or being executed. The typical of this class are promissory notes. So your promissory note is a unilateral contract. Your promissory note is a unilateral contract. Every promissory note you've ever signed. When you sign for your house, if you read the note, it never said the bank was going to give you no money. When you sign for your car, same thing. It never said nobody was giving you anything. It said you agreed to pay. You promised to do something for nothing in return. It shows them as a creditor. It shows you as a buyer. It doesn't show you as a debtor. It shows you as a buyer. And then it shows that you give away a security interest in whatever it is being purchased. So that's pretty unilateral. A bilateral contract would be more like Rebecca agrees to pay Ricky $100,000 up front, and Ricky agrees to pay back Rebecca the $100,000 on this and that increments with this and that, APR or whatever. That would be a bilateral contract, and then both of us sign it. But most of the time, your contracts say a for loan received, or for consideration, or for whatever. That's legalese. That's a way for a corporation to be able to say, hey, look, we put right here. Here's our loan right here. That's not how contract law works. So contract law says that the contract has to be clear and conspicuous. You also have to have a meeting of the minds. So if your meeting of the minds is that they're going to give you money and then you're going to pay them back, then that has to be the terms in the contract. If the meeting of the minds is not what y'all actually signed about, then y'all didn't have a meeting of the minds. You promised to give the property as collateral even though you don't own it yet. You do own it. That's where you're wrong. You do own it. You do own it. And again, go look at your contract. It says buyer and seller. It doesn't say lien holder, none of that shit. It say buyer and seller. So that means once they sell it and it's not theirs anymore, it's yours. So you do own it. You're not getting it as a lesser. Now on your deed for your house, you take the place of a tenant, and people still think that they homeowners. That shit beats me. How you let a legal document call you a tenant, but you still think you buying something? That don't even make common sense. They play all type of games. I'm speaking more on creating my own notes and using them as payment, which will give me the ability to have unlimited access to money. Oh Lord. I had to say a quick little prayer for you. Listen. Before you try to do that, please, I beg of you, before you try to do that, get this book, because you're going to go to jail if you don't. Get this book, and this is your book to get your securities license, because you cannot sell a security without having a license. You also need to know the regulations for securities. So if you're going to use a promissory note as a security, you need to understand contracts because it is a contract, and then you need to understand securities because it is also a security. You need to get all three of these books. Because what happens is it's going to look like bank fraud. Even though you're going to say, well, Rebecca, these companies take my paper with my signature on it and they securitize it. Yes, because they are registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. They have followed the regulations that were set for them to be established to be able to do that. So to be able, that's why a lot of people, coupons and stuff, all of that stuff don't work because you don't have the authority to do it. Not that it's not your account to do it through or whatever. It's not that it's not your credit. You already have exposure to unlimited credit to I don't know how to say your name and I don't want to mess it up. Is it Garth? Is it Garth the jeweler? I hope I'm not saying it wrong, because I be messing people's name. I'm from Louisiana. If I'm saying it wrong, it's my accent. It's not my I ain't doing it on purpose. But he said I will use a broker as my middle. Why are you getting a middleman? He said yes, scarf. Okay, I'm glad I said that right. But why you need a middleman? Why would you need a middleman? Who let them on live now? Lights aglow. Who are you? I'll buy those books. Yeah. Great job. Get you them. Start. The one you should start with, if you could find this one or another edition of this one, because this one's pretty old, get this one. This one is gonna be available on Amazon. You probably have more access to this one. Make sure you get this one. I'm telling you to get these books because once you realize what you need to be able to offer a security, you don't need, you like books. I love books too. Once you get registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission, you don't need a broker. You don't need all these other people. Brokerages and these hedge funds are stealing from people. If you don't understand how they're going to over collateralize the note, how you know they're not going to steal from you? How you know your broker not going to steal from you? How would we know? Realistically. Let me get my charger for my phone back. So you want to buy some... Do I want to buy some microscope cookies? What? The hell is that? Not you on here soliciting. What is microscope cookies? Hey Lawrence, how you doing? They profit off of ignorance, that's a fact. How much books? I read a lot of books, cool girl. See them books behind me? This is one of my bookshelves. I have another bookshelf downstairs and I have one above my bed. I also got a lot of stuff on my desk. So it's at least like 4, 5 books on my desk as well. I have a lot of books. I have a couple hundred books. You can see everything in them. Yep. Malik, you talking about these books? Do you have a dog? Do you have a dog like Cat? No, I don't. I don't have animals. I used to have the dogs, but I don't have animals now. Austin say that's a lot of books. No, baby, I'm sorry. I don't really eat cookies like that. Have you been getting into wholesaling real estate? I'm actually a realtor, but no, I don't really, I'm into buying real estate. I'm not really into selling it. Do you have a husband? Y'all ask a lot of questions. No, I don't have, I'm not married or in a relationship for that matter. Knowledge is definitely power. My car contract is on bond paper, so I sign the back of it since it's a security and give it to the indentured trustee. Lawrence, whether it's on bond paper, it could be on regular paper. If it's a contract that was securitized, it's a note. It don't have to be on bond paper. What book or where do one start this journey? Legend, where you want to start it? You want to start with consumer law? You want to start with contracts? I'll refer you a book, but I need to know where you want to start first. If you message me on Facebook, okay, I'm going to go look at it. How many subscribers do you have? Austin, you would have to look on my page. I'm not sure. I have like 51,000 on TikTok. Y'all should go follow me on TikTok. And on Facebook. And on Instagram. People are not interested in what she... Right. Right, Sharon. How do you do the acceptance of your deed correctly? I'll follow you, I promise. I'll follow back if y'all have some good content, honestly. I'll follow y'all back if y'all have some good content. I had somebody in my comments earlier. If you guys have not seen the other video that I posted today, the life of an account, y'all should go watch it. I had somebody get a $40,000 charge off removed from their credit report just from some things that I told them in the video. So yeah, I think I'm gonna take a break for a while, and then I'll probably get back on here in a little bit. I need to go get me a snack. All right, y'all, give me a little while. I'll be back on here later on.